I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, March the 2nd, where we're looking down the road, and like it or not, we may not be crazy about the board, but it is the best indicator of what cattle will be bringing out front and in the future. And if you don't believe it, you can just get on there and take your position one way or the other, and you won't have to get anything on your boots. But let's look at this, and later on in the report I'm going to show you the vast difference of what these feeder cattle are bringing, just depending on what the out front futures are. But you look at the board on Thursday, April live cattle up a nickel at 123.32 after being down hard earlier in the day. June ended up down a dime at 115.50. That's what we got to look forward to, guys. 115.50. Our February's gone, our spot month is April, and the next out is June, 115.5. But at the rate these guys have been getting these cattle gone, we may be a lot lower than that before June gets here if we don't start shoring things up a little bit. But April feeder cattle down a quarter, ending the day on Thursday at 146.75. March up 30 cents at 145.05. Now your fat cattle trade, that this is the mandatory information through Wednesday, only 60,850 head for the week. So they would really like to get a few more cattle bought. Your feeders would like to sell some more cattle. Even though market ready supplies are tight, we've got to keep moving cattle through the system so that those bigger heavy supplies of market ready cattle that are going to clog things up don't hit any sooner than they have to. So we got to stay current. But if you look at the report there, you showed that we had a lot more 127 than we thought. Yes, 126 was prominent in Kansas and Texas. Of course, they established that on Monday, really. But you look at some of these other places further up north, they were not happy with that, and they demanded a little bit more money. Colorado, Nebraska, there was a lot of 127 there. I'll show you how much. Actually, the weighted average on live steers in the 5-area feeding region through Wednesday was 126.82. So more 127 than 126. But on the heifers, it was 126.47, so pretty much split. Now your dress steers, and let's hand this to the guys in Iowa. Your Iowa farmer feeders held their ground. Evidently the heels on those work boots work better than the cowboy boots down south. But your dress steers averaged 204.34 through Wednesday. But on your steers, heifers just a little over 204, but quite a bit of 205 there. And when we talked on the last visit about how if you had some cattle at 204 and they were clean and had a lot of fat on them and not too full, they could have a dressing percentage of 64%. That would be over 130 on your live coming back. But pretty decent fat trade, really. We'd like to see a little bit more volume, but it's good to see those northern boys holding the ground. But you look at your markets that happened on Thursday. Here in the middle of the afternoon on Thursday as I'm recording this, I've got an appointment later in the day, but nothing on market news. But if you look at your automated market report on Cattle Market Central, you see that Pratt had already sold around 4,000 head. Most of your popular weights of feeder steers were $1 to $3 lower, but a lot of heifers on offer. If you see that, most of the heifers are selling near steady, and some big runs of heifers in a couple of weight groups. 848 head of heifers in the 7-weight category, averaged 742 pounds at 137.87, and 1,022 8-weight heifers averaged 820 pounds at 134.56, and that's battling steer price right there, guys. Pretty good. But farmers, ranchers, livestock in the early sales there, they were still selling along, and you can pick these market reports up through the day, guys. And just a little over 1,800 head had sold when I pulled this report, and they were selling 3 to 4 lower mostly, spots $7 lower. But these feeders are just lower around, guys. Even though we're running short of them, it is stalker time, and guys are getting excited about green grass, and most of their feedlots are full, got cattle in there they've had in there for a while, and working on finishing them out. But look down the road at some of our feeder cattle contracts on down the road. I mentioned earlier that March sitting at 145.05. Your April sitting at 146.75, so that's better, but just getting progressively better. Normally the August is the tops on your feeder contracts, but August closed on Thursday at 151.72. September trading at a premium to that at 151.97, and October right up there with them at 151.72. And that's traditionally when all those calves start coming to town and killing the market. But really good prices on some fall feeder cattle on the board. And if you think that's a little bit wild, just go ahead and short you several contracts and see if you turn out right. It's just like Las Vegas, guys. But I'm going to look at a market that I'm familiar with, maybe not in Clarinda, Iowa, but actually that's the market. It used to be Maryville, Missouri, and John Anderson, Frank Hepker moved up to Clarinda, Iowa to a different location. Got Russell Sleep there, the big-time auctioneer, helping him out. But I want to give you some quotes out of Clarinda, Iowa, a really good sale down in the southwest corner of Iowa. Let's look at the first bunch there. 61 head of 687-pound steers at 170.5. Now that's quite a ticket, I do realize, but if you look at that, that's $1,171 per head. Now let's look at the 8-weight group. 60 head of 865-pound steers at 133. And it's tough on 8 weights, guys. You get them up into the 8-weight category, they're not going to bring close to 150 anymore. They've been hacking on them the last couple of weeks. But that 865-pound steers at 133, that's $1,150 a head. $21 less than those cattle weighing under 7. And then you get up into some heavier weights. 59 head of 963-pound steers bring 130. Now they'll be done quicker, and they actually bring $1,252 a head. But some cattle weighing 100 pounds bigger than those 8 weights, just bringing $3 a hundred less. And then those light cattle weighing 687 there, bringing $40 more. Nearly, but really a good comparison of looking down the road when those cattle will finish out, what our feeder market is down the road, and it's a good idea to do that once in a while. That's your feeder flash for Friday.